There we go. I see that little red box. That box says live. That's kind of my cue to say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, that we are here live. Go figure. And I have to tell you, there is hope for the future. You know, it's a new year, but I've been very excited for this evening and to have this special guest. Such an amazing talent. And with that, if you would please do the honors, please introduce yourself to the fine fans out there, Sydney.
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me today, Steve. I'm super excited to be on Talk Shop Live. My name's Sydney Irving. I'm a singer-songwriter from Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, and I have to say her debut album, I mean, it's amazing, was released at age 12. I believe she started singing and songwriting at yeah, or at age 12. Actually, the debut album was released at age 14, and that was followed by her sophomore effort, the Halfmoon Sessions in 2018. But we'll have to ask her how, how does one start at such an early age? But you can see, boy, it's paid off in dividends. She was honored as the 2020 Young Adult Artist of the Year by the International Singer-Songwriters Association, also the Best New Artist at the prestigious Syracuse Area Music Awards in 2022, and Best Pop Artist at the 2023 Mississippi Music Awards. Now we're setting the table for tonight as we celebrate her current album, and what an album it is, unfashionable, I should say, Creatures. I'll get it right. Recorded mostly during 2023 and 2024. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a great treat. Buckle up. Let's kick this show off. Brad, let's roll the video.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
I was revved up before that video, but boy, that gets my adrenaline going as well. Fortunately, I don't need a doctor because I wouldn't miss this for the world. I'm Steve Harkins, your host for the Rock and Roll Channel on Talk Shop Live. Once again, please welcome to Talk Shop Live's Rock and Roll Channel, Sydney Irving. Sydney, thank you so much for being here. Where do we find you this fine evening?
You find me in Syracuse, New York. So much snow. There's a crazy blizzard that's happened here in Syracuse, New York. So you find me in the Arctic.
Yeah, my apologies. How many inches of snow, or should I say feet?
Honestly, I don't even know at this point. There's a
Yeah, stop
lot.
counting. It's not worth it. Yeah,
Yeah,
too much
it's
is
just
too
too
much.
cold.
I'm from Chicago originally. I'm now in Charlotte, but I brought my snow shovel with me to remind me what we left behind. But we got an ice storm, so serves me right. Uh, and I want to say, fans, if you'd like to ask Sydney a question, you have a comment, use the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. And Sydney, let me first state what you do is extraordinarily important, especially in today's somewhat contentious climate. And usually artists are aligned with the term entertainment, but what you do is you bring people together. I mean, it's one of the common threads that we have today. So it's more important now than ever through your music and art. And congratulations on this fantastic album. And the material is stellar, as are the performances. And you truly are destined to be a force to be reckoned with. You have to feel real good about this album.
Well, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I spent basically 2, 3 years making this album,
Wow.
and I'm really proud of how it came out. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of determination to get it done, and I'm just really happy with how it turned out. And I can't thank everybody who helped me make it enough, because really it's because of the people around me that it's able to happen.
And you're with a wonderful company. You landed a contract. This is the first of hopefully will be many albums with Deco Entertainment.
Yeah, thank you. Deco's awesome, and shout out to my awesome manager, Bruce. Without those guys, I wouldn't be here on Talk Shop Live tonight. So thank you to everyone at Deco and Bruce for making this happen, and Talk Shop Live, and you, Steve.
Oh, thank you. Bruce trained you very well. Bruce Pilato. I know the man.
Yeah.
He's legendary for sure. You're with somebody who I'd say, it's definitely the what the doctor ordered for sure. You're in good hands. And this album you co-produced, which is pretty amazing, along with Steve Sobchak. And let me ask you, from a production standpoint, as an artist, as a songwriter, what did Steve bring to the table for you?
When I decided to make this record, prior to that, I was recording basically live. I'd go in with my acoustic guitar and I would just sit down and play it. And we might add like bass and drums to it, but that was kind of the extent of it. When
Right?
I set out to make Unfashioned Creatures, I had reached out to Steve, who had mixed and mastered all my music prior to this album. And I was like, hey, like, I'd love to do a record together. And he was like, well, if we're going to do it, I feel like we got to really build it up and make it something really special. So the way we decided to do it was we'd go into the studio, I'd write a song, I'd bring the song in, and just the two of us would be in the studio. And I'd track the acoustic guitar and the vocals, and he would play absolutely everything else. And the great thing about working with Steve was because there wasn't a ton of cooks in the kitchen, it was very much like he would like play a guitar part and together like we'd kind of like adjust it and be like, maybe try this, maybe try that. And that's kind of how the songs were shaped. And it was very much a collaborative effort.
That's great. Would you use them again? Of course, I know you have to say yes, but I have to ask you that question.
Absolutely. Actually, I was just in the studio the other day with him. We're working on new music.
I'm not surprised because most of this again was put together in 23 and 24. So you must have stockpiled some great new music.
Thank you. I'm always writing. So like if if I'm not playing a show or um anything else, I'm usually on my bedroom floor with my acoustic guitar writing songs.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? By the way, the album cover, great shot, great cover. Looks like one of
Thank
those
you.
magic moments that uh, you know, captured that, kind of that rock and roll vibe.
Thank you. That was actually kind of a goofy picture that we took, and it was one of those ones where I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make the art." And then Bruce Pilato, he saw it and he was like, "That's the cover."
Yeah, he's a rock and roll guy. I mean, it's like I didn't see what chord you struck, but that was a rock and roll chord in my book.
I think it's an E chord.
There we
I
go.
think.
Now I can go to sleep tonight having you can check that box for sure. Tell me about the approach to songwriting. I'm always fascinated by it because there's no manual, to doing this. And, with some artists, I refer to them as like being a vessel where you're like the chosen one and the ideas or a melody line or a lyric, comes to you just kind of randomly that kind of is the building block, or even the foundation for building a song. And in other cases, artists and songwriters will say, okay, today I'm going to try to write a song. And it's kind of like a workshop where it's like, they just try to knock things out. So is it one or the other? Is it a combination of both?
I would say a lot of my music starts with me like doing something completely unrelated to music and then like a lyric will pop into my head and I'll type it into a note in my phone and then I'll bring it home and goof around with it and workshop it and then it usually becomes a verse. Um and then either I finish the song out or I'll bring it to my awesome producer Steve and we've done a few co-writes like on the record there's 3 co-writes that we did together. Move On, Something Better and Seasons Change and they usually started with me writing a verse and then I'll send it to him
Right.
and he'll be like, "Yeah, cool," or like he'll be like, I think it could be better." So
Yeah.
I think a big thing is like just writing whatever comes and some of it's cool and some of it's not cool and some of it just goes in the bin.
Yeah, fair enough. And, I think too, what's great about the production, I always say this is that, there's a tendency from a production standpoint, especially the person who is the producer or co-producer. Um, sometimes they have a tendency to overproduce, like putting layers upon layers. And what seems really evident with your relationship with Steve, both of you co-producing, is that the songs were really well served. It wasn't like, just trying to impress people with, how many different riffs or instruments you could pile onto a song. It really was with the song in mind and you as the artist. I mean, it's really evident.
Thank you very much. I grew up listening to a lot of music, and one of my all-time favorites is Tom Petty, and I feel like Tom Petty
Yeah,
does that very well. And so I've always wanted my music to not be super cluttered and more like add to the song rather than like bury the song. So I think we achieved that on this record.
yeah. Well, you mastered it or mistressed it, as whatever the case may be, in the
Thank
right
you.
terminology. But I was going to ask you. It's a great segue, as far as your influences when you were growing up, and even today, as far as singers and songwriters. You mentioned Tom Petty. Who else kind of struck a nerve? I mean, and was there a moment when you heard somebody or saw an artist where you said, you know what, it was like that aha moment where it's like, this is what I have to do.
My earliest music memory was driving in the car with, my dad, and he was playing Guns N' Roses' Paradise City. He had
Yeah,
taught me all the words. I was 3 years old, and I sang every single word of it, and there was just, like, always music playing in the house, like the Ramones, Jack Johnson, Tom Petty, like, just everything,
that's
and
great.
thank you. And so that really definitely shaped me to just love music in the first place. When I was about 10 years old, I discovered Taylor Swift and I just wore out the Speak Now album. I listened to it so many times. And that was really where I decided I'm going to try to write songs. So I kind of attribute that to Taylor Swift. And then I really got into Eddie Vedder and Tom Petty's music and just really fell in love with people who write songs but can still rock. And um, yeah, I love the idea of writing a song and then getting up on stage and playing it, and so ever since, I've just always wanted to do it.
I love that, and, there is hope for the future knowing that there's a parent out there that introduces Guns N' Roses as kind of like the first, artist, to a young child. There's hope for the future for sure.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
I Yep.
Axl Rose was, a big deal in our house. Still
Great
is.
music is great music. It doesn't matter what genre, and I love the fact that, yeah, you got this well-rounded, exposure, which is, a testament to you and the parents for sure. And I have to ask you, not everyone has a gift you possess, and that opportunity to set foot on stage, that sensation when you connect with an audience. And I'm wondering if you can even put it into words, sharing what that feels like when you set foot on stage and you're connecting with an audience.
For me, that's when I really feel free to be myself and express myself, and,
Yep.
there's nothing like performing a song that you've written and people are there and they're listening and they're attentive and singing the words back. That's just the absolute coolest.
Yeah.
But I think it's really electric when you're at a show and it's just like such a good vibe in the room.
It can be like an out of body experience, fair to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I've played many shows since I was 14, 15 years old, and there's nothing like getting up on stage and performing for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you scan it too, it's gotta be amazing because you're probably dealing with a wide range of, age groups. Your music, I think, really feels like it would connect with a wide range, especially when you refer to your influences that, you got something for everybody.
Thank you. That was a big thing for this record. I wanted it to feel timeless, and
Yeah,
I want my lyrics to connect with all ages, not just like a specific audience. I think that's really important for me because the human experience everybody goes through and everybody deals with love and loss and heartbreak and um, trying to find optimism in life. And I think my songs, I want to land in that world.
I'll tell you what, the material and even the lyrics too, I just show that you're wise beyond your years, and we're all, fortunate for it. I wanna thank John for ordering a copy of Unfashioned Creatures. I may have, muffed it and said unfashionable, and I'll probably muff it again later, but it's Unfashioned Creatures. Thanks, John. Tony as well, Gary, also Joseph, Scott, David, Kent, come on, where are the ladies? You got to pick it up too. You got it, boy. You got a male brigade of fans for sure. But Jennifer Sabiniak, I think it is saying hello, Sid, and thanking you for being here. So hello to Jennifer. And Jason saying, glad you were able to go live after all that snow. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we all are. Yeah. You trust me, you wouldn't want to spend an hour with me alone. That would not be fun. Uh, Danya Suda is also thankful that you're here. And Jason would like to know how you would describe the sound and feel of your album.
Oh, well, first off, thank you to everyone who's bought the record, and thank you to everybody for joining. I would describe the sound of the record as like Americana, with a pop rock sensibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, and the thing that's great too is that there's a wide range of flavors and pacing too. It's not, sometimes artists may get into a certain mode where it's, pretty consistently a certain tempo. Maybe they'll shake it up a little bit, but it really flows. And that's another question that I wanted to ask you. We call it sequencing. And are you tortured as an artist in terms of, it's like, okay, now I've got a storyline, and do I have the right sequence as far as like the chapters if you're an author or whatever? Maybe tougher for music, but wanting to flow and tell a complete tale. Were you tortured putting together the sequence, or was it pretty easy for you?
See, the sequence of my albums for all the albums I've released, because I released a few before this one independently,
Right.
and every single record, I'll ask Steve Sopchak to order them because I feel like he's got a really good ear, but
Yeah.
also I feel like I've been with the songs for so long that I don't have the ability to listen to them from an
You're too
outside
close.
perspective.
Yeah, you're too
Exactly.
close. Yeah, it makes sense for sure. And if he gets it wrong, you can blame somebody else on too, which is
Yeah.
it's a great
I'm like,
executive decision.
"What have you done?" Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're killing me, Steve. My career was on the upswing. No, he did a wonderful job for sure. Elizabeth is saying, hoping you're staying safe in the weather, and she's indoors. She does have a roof over her head. I have it on good authority. And Gina, yes, I think thanks for being here. She does write most of her songs, or co-writes them. And Kim, thanks for asking about the influences. And Donna, this is a great question. Any songs that didn't make the album that you wanted to, where you just kind of ran out of bandwidth?
Unfashioned Creatures was really a funny thing. It began as an EP called Relax with Fiends,
Uh-huh.
and so that was a 5-song EP, and then we ended up recording the last 5 songs, that just kind of, like, happened. So we never set out in the first place to make a full record. It started as an EP, and then it became, like, I'd write a song and I'd just bring it in, we'd record it, and it kinda got banked. And then once I ended up signing with Deco and with Bruce, we decided to add 2 extra songs to the record, and I had a few that I was kicking around, and so we ended up picking through those and deciding which ones felt like they deserved to be on the track list, and so it wasn't like there was a big pool of songs that we were, like, really picking from. It was like it all just fell into place in a very funny, perfect way.
I love that. That's great. Chandra wants to know, what is your favorite song to perform live? There were definitely some I noted that we'll be talking about shortly that feel like they'd be killer live.
Thank you. I think my favorite from the record is probably Wish That I Knew to perform live. It's very dramatic and there's lots of opportunities to flick my hair around.
Yeah,
So
most
definitely Wish That I
importantly.
Knew. Oh, most
Yeah.
importantly.
And also, is equally important tonight, we're celebrating the current release of the amazingly talented Sydney Irving, and I want to say it's entitled "Unfashioned Creatures," featuring 12 phenomenal tracks. Yes, folks, there is hope for the future, and Sydney Irving, I put before you as proof positive. Rock and Roll Channel on Talk Shop Live fans can purchase their copies right here, right now, and as Sydney's way of thanking you, fine fans, she's graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies purchased here on Talk Shop Live. To order your copies, hit the shop button on TalkShopLive on socials, Facebook, Instagram, comment shop. We'll DM you a link, and the rest is quick, easy, and pain-free, unlike that slight arthritic condition that Sydney may have developed signing for you fine fans, but I think she's quickly on the road to recovery, and it's a small price to pay for the fans. So thank you for that, Sydney. And there's no greater way, fans, to show how much you appreciate such a wonderful talent as Sydney Irving's artistry than by owning a copy of her latest musical body of work. Sydney, I think it's really important we share some of this great music with the fans. Are you okay with that?
Let's share it. Let's do it.
Outstanding. So let's check out the opening track from Sydney's new album, Unfashioned Creatures. Here's You Can't Forget About Me. Brad, if you would, please roll the digital.
Forget about me. God, we never said things we'd ever mean. Making hay by talking in poetry. All forever you had waited for me, and I died living up to what you thought I'd be. Well, go pretend you don't remember me. We promised friends, one thing will never be. 'Cause people fall. Sincere apologies, but however hard you try, you can't forget about me.
What a great opening track, upbeat opening song laden with hooks, man. Just absolutely great. Cindy, this is the part where the fans send me irate messages, saying, Steve, why did you cut off that great track? And this is the part where I say, you have to buy the album to hear the rest of it. And trust me, it's just as good on the back end. And some of you have already heard this track. Great lyrics as well. If I turned right on this road, I drive by her house. It doesn't matter much, but that's what my mind does. And yeah, I wonder sometimes how you think of me. Are the memories good and wholesome? Do they bleed? Well, go pretend you don't remember me. We promise, friends, one thing will never be, because we both want sincere apologies. But no matter how you try, there we go. ... I mean, the lyrics here really connect. They connected with me, and I think it will, touches a wide spectrum. And I have to ask you, when you write, you can't forget about me. I sense this is somewhat autobiographical, or was it in fact third person?
I definitely write from an autobiographical standpoint for
Yeah,
sure, especially this song. I started with the first line, if I drive by your house, or if I turn right on this road, I drive by your house. And I
right.
literally had driven by an ex-boyfriend's road, and I was
And drove
like,
yourself
oh,
crazy, like torturing yourself doing that, right?
yeah. And I was like, oh, wouldn't that be a good line for a song? And that really set up the entire tune.
I love it. This is your Taylor Swift moment where you can name the person. No, you don't have to, but do you think the person knows you wrote this song about him?
I don't know, it was so long ago
Yeah, who
that
cares? The guy's a jerk. The heck with him,
I'm sure he's a
right?
very nice fellow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, that's a wonderful opening track and a great song structures, Greg, just really catchy. And then, What Have You Done? Love this track as well. Great vibe, passionate vocal. And, with a lot of your songs, they feel so familiar, and I think that's kind of a pedigree of a lot of the music you were exposed to, but, to your credit, it's not specific to, another song. There's no plagiarism in my mind, but that's a mark of a great song when it feels familiar.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. These these songs I spent so much time working on and workshopping just like by myself, like just like scratching out entire verses and rewriting them until I was happy with them. So that means a lot to hear you say that.
Well, it's true, but it also takes a lot of discipline to stick to it until you feel like it's right. I mean, there comes a point sometimes where you're just like, "Okay, this is it. That's the song." Or as you said, some cases, maybe it's gonna go up on the shelf, never to be visited again, or maybe in 20 years, who knows? But it does take a lot of discipline to do that, and at the end of the day, you end up, with some pretty impressive material. Speaking of which, let's check out another track from Sydney's new album, Unfashioned Creatures. Here's Something Better. Once again, Brad, if you would, please roll the digital.
It's getting colder now, and the snow's coming down. And I hope this lasts, 'cause we're good, but we're glad. Don't you know love is fleeting? It flickers like lights on a string. But don't you forget the feeling of hope that the new year might bring. Something better. You said lovers never fade. Then how do you drift so far away? All I need's a little warmth, away from these New York December storms. Don't you know love is fleeting? It flickers like lights on a string. But don't you forget the feeling of hope that the new year might bring. Something better. Something better. Let these troubles melt away, 'cause you're all I want on Christmas Day. Don't you know love is fleeting? It flickers like lights on a string. But don't you forget the feeling of hope that the new year might bring. Something better.
What a great track. I'll tell you what, man, beautiful opening piano work and vocal, wonderful production. Love the nuance and the instrumentation. And this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Sydney, which is like, this is in particular could have been a song that could have been overproduced with all kinds of layers, lush production. But but that's not the case. Again, the production serves the song the way it should be. And this one feels to me like an instant classic, one that'll stand the test of time. Just love it. Fantastic work. And have to ask you, first of all, did you blow the video budget on insurance so the place didn't burn out with all those candles? And what inspired this track?
We did not, have any issues with the candles, they were all fake candles, they were on a remote, actually, so, really funny, when we were doing the music video, someone had an idea, I think it was my dad, he was like, "Wouldn't it be great is if you could walk by the candles, and as you walk by them, we could remote control them and turn them on as you walk by them."
Love it.
So, my awesome friend Bronte, I don't know if she's watching, but she was like, "Cool, I'll do it." So I start walking, and we're in a beautiful theater in Syracuse called the Palace Theater.
Yeah.
And she didn't realize that when she started, she was gonna have to like hurdle the seats in the theater. So I'm walking down the aisle, and out of the corner of my eye, she is just like fully athletically like leaping over these chairs. And I was trying not to laugh.
That's
But
that's so great.
it,
That would be
yeah,
Amaji Smith, is it?
um, Amaj Smith, yeah, he's in here.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's not who you're referring to.
no, my friend Bronte, we went to school together.
Got it. Okay. Because Image, I think, is courting you, saying, "We love you, Sid," with 3
Aw.
Ds. But, what a great video, and listen, before I forget, I have to go back to the first one too and say thank you so much for pulling out the Walkman, and the cassette, for exposing it, and thank you for it not being an 8 track. I just hope that doesn't come back. That's
Well,
just a
thank
personal
you.
thing.
I when we were trying to do the video, I was like, "Wouldn't it be cool if we, like" so we had to go on Amazon and try to get one because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Um, and so we finished the video, and I handed it in, and Bruce had watched it, and he was like, "I don't really get the, like the, like, cassette thing," and I was like, "No, no, it's cool," like so then he showed it to, I don't know who he showed it to, I think, like, his grandchildren or something, and they were like, "It's so cool, it's retro." I was like, "I told you it was gonna be
There you
good."
go. Yeah, you nailed it for sure. Yeah, I think Bruce is stuck on, like, things like cylinders and 78s and things before most of us, were listening to music, and I say that affectionately. Now, Dreaming, gorgeous vocal on this track. This is great musical medicine in my book, which we need more than ever today. Speaks to people both lyrically and in tone, and addresses a fractured relationship, but to me, I feel like it can apply somewhat to our chaotic atmosphere these days as well. So it just felt like this is one that people can kind of get centered from listening to it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. That was the last song we added to the album, and I had written it, and I wasn't sure it was gonna make the record because, it was just very much an acoustic ballad, and all I wanted it to be was an acoustic ballad,
Yeah.
and, when we were like, "Oh, we're gonna add 2 more songs to the record," I was like, "Well, this one I think would be nice to wrap up the whole album," and there's nothing like it on the album. So, I brought it in, and I think we recorded it in, like, 3 hours or something. It was very, very
Wow.
quick, but I'm really happy it made the
Yeah.
record.
Don't mess with perfection, right? I mean, when it's right, it's right. Call,
Thank you. I
yeah.
thought about putting the voice memo from my phone on the album, but I was like, "No, no, no, we I have to go to the studio and record it." That would be
Maybe
kind of a
maybe
cop
for the
out.
extended version of the album, or the
Yeah,
box set
maybe.
after the 6th album.
Here are all the voice memos that I handed in as demos for
I
each of the
always
songs.
I always find it fascinating. You see the origin, of the idea is the bones of it.
It's really funny because I went back and I watched, or I listened to most of the demos that I had sent in originally for all the songs, and it's crazy how they change when you go into the studio, like,
Yeah.
you'll sit down and, like, you'll have the voice memo, and you just end up with you strum it differently, and then maybe you're like, "Oh, like, let's cut out this one section right here,"
Yeah.
and so the song really it develops when you finally get into record it.
It takes a few left turns, a right turn, a whole new life of its own.
Mhm.
Uh, I wanna, Amaj Smith, I know I threw you out there, but again, I'm just saying that because 'cause you're just saying, "We love you, Sid," so I felt it warranted saying that again. And Valerie, heart back to you. You saw, Valerie, thanks so much for being here. Margie, good question. What's the biggest lesson you've learned between, your first album and now as far as the evolution of you as an artist recording?
My first album was recorded when I was 14. It was called Hello Stranger, and essentially, I would come home from school every day and I would just write songs, and that's all I did. I would write songs, do my homework, that was it. And every week I'd beg my parents to bring me to open mic nights.
Yeah,
So my parents they were very supportive and very awesome, and they were like, "Well, I mean, if you're gonna do music, you might as well like do it and just see what happens, and just put yourself out there." So we ended up booking a day at a studio in Syracuse, New York called More Sound. And I brought in my acoustic guitar and I brought my ukulele. I had 4 songs on the uke, 4 songs on the acoustic, and I sat down and played each of the songs 3 times, just live, and we
yeah.
picked the best take. So that was the first record. The newest album, the way that we recorded it was so different. Basically, I would go in, I would track the acoustic guitar, and then we would build it up from the ground up. So we would track everything separately. Then we'd do the drums, we would do the bass, we'd do the electric guitar, the keys, and then like anything else that we decided to add, like shaker, tambourine, and then I'd track vocals and we would do like 3 takes of vocals and we would pick the best take and add harmonies and everything like that. So it's much more produced, much more thoughtful in the process of it. So I would say I've definitely learned a lot about going into the studio and like how to make a song
I love
full
yeah.
and developed.
I love that. And that first album approach, it's kind of like a glorified demo, right? I mean, where you do at least a few takes, but still captures the raw essence of the original idea.
Definitely. I was 14, so I
Yeah.
sound much younger. We only made 300 copies on CD, so wherever those ended up is where
On
they are.
on eBay
I
for
sound
like $500 now. That's where it ended up, I'll tell you,
I hope
after this
so.
album. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, here's a call out. Steve, Sobchak is a legend. No, that's not Steve's mother, that's Scott Mamba. Steve is pretty amazing, I think we all agree. Uh, Vanjie B wants to know, will you be touring this year?
Yes, lots of dates coming up. I'm super
Great
excited. You
news.
can find them all at my website, sydneyirvingmusic.com. Um, Coming up in March, the band and I are hitting the road, my awesome band called The Creatures. We're going to be in New York City, and I'm super excited and honored to have been invited to the Recording Academy New York City office. We're going to get to go perform there.
Nice.
And then that night we're headed to the Cutting Room. So we're going to be playing a show at the Cutting Room. Um, and then the next day on March 6th, we're going to be in New Jersey. We're going to play a little unplugged show, more details to come. And then we get to go and hang out with everybody over at Deco. And that's going to be a great time because I haven't met them in person yet. I've only done Zoom. So I only see them as like a little picture on a computer.
Oh,
um,
they're some of the
and then
most
we wrap it
passionate
up.
people in the music business.
Mhm. No, they're so great, and I'm so excited to get to work with them. And then we wrap it up in Philly in March, March 7th at the 2300 Arena at Bar 2300.
But Sydney, I'm looking at my calendar, and that's just the first 3 months of the year. There's gotta be more Sydney to come to all of us beyond that,
Oh,
right?
Oh yeah, yeah, you can check out more information at sydneyirvingmusic.com. I have some shows in New York State, because that's where I'm located, so I love
Yeah,
playing some shows at home. I got some coming up this weekend. I'm gonna be in Syracuse at the Winter Fair. I'll be in Marcellus, New York at the Village Tavern, and then Sunday, I'm playing at the Whiskey Coop in Syracuse. It's a really cool spot. So,
nice. That's great. Hazel, thanks so much for being here. Hazel M. Also, Erica Smith, who's puts in caps, "We love you." There's a lot of love out there for one, Sydney Irving. And I'm guessing Unfashioned Creatures, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, is that a little bit of a nod to the band?
Unfashioned Creature. Well, the band is called The Creatures because of the album name.
Okay.
I got the album title from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the book.
Yeah, of course.
There's a line that says we're all unfashioned creatures, and I thought that was very beautiful, and it should be an album name.
How great. That's a lot more romantic and, adventurous than naming it after a bunch of guys in a band, I think.
Well, the guys in the band were named after the album, which was named after
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
so,
Yep.
so they have nothing to complain about for sure.
I hope
Emma
so.
wants
As
to know.
long as
Y
as
Go
long
ahead.
as they're not afraid of Frankenstein, we're good to go.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so we'll find out soon enough. Well, if they're in therapy sessions, we know they didn't take it so well. And Emma wants to know, how do you decide when a song is done?
Usually I workshop it a lot. A lot of songs on this record, basically I would write and write and write, and there would be like multiple versions of the verses, but then finally I feel like I would land on one that just felt good, and I could sing it, and it felt like it fit the song. Two of the songs on the record, Seasons Change and Something Better, I started the verses and the
Yeah.
first verse, and I sent it to Steve, and he was like, "Yeah, this is cool, like, let's write it together." And then, like, a week or so later, I got an email for both songs, and he was like, "Hey, I just woke up. I had a dream that we wrote the chorus for the song, and so I jumped out of bed and recorded it as fast as I could and sent it to you. So here it
Wow.
is. Let me know what you think." And so that's how the choruses were written. Steve
No,
went to bed and woke up
that's a
with a
hardcore
chorus.
partner. Yeah. He's like, woke up in the middle of the night, probably broke out in a sweat, and it's just like, I gotta reach out and I gotta share this before it's too late.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it,
He
but the
probably
other
doesn't
day we were
either.
I don't think so, but we were in a session the other day and we were writing a song and we, like, couldn't get the chorus, and I was like, "Well, Steve, go to bed and then
Yeah,
come
right.
back,
Yeah.
and then I think we'll have it."
I love that. Yeah, it's so great for sure. You know what? Again, tonight, I just want to remind everybody we're celebrating the current release from the amazingly talented Sydney Irving. And the album, of course, is entitled Unfashioned Creatures, 12 phenomenal tracks. And Sydney Irving is proof positive that there is hope for the future. Just a great album. You will not be disappointed. Rock and Roll Channel fans and Talk Shop Live can purchase their copies right here, right now. And as her way of thanking you fans, she has graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies here on Talk Shop Live. When they're gone, they're gone. So you don't want to wait. You will regret this. This is an artist that you'll be talking about for years to come. So it'll be an heirloom on top of that. Just click the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, comment shop, we'll DM you a link. The rest is quick and easy, and there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate such a wonderful talent as the one and only Sydney Irving than by owning a copy of her latest musical body of work. Let's check out another track from Unfashioned Creatures. Here's Rain. Brad, if you would, please roll the digital.
I never know where I'm going from here. In the light, let it die, resting on delusion, too far off to come near. Just hardly the colors start making out clear. Babe,
So good. Want to call out Carrie and Juana, Erica, Matt, and Sloan for being here and sharing all of your passion and appreciation. Soulful vocal, love the musical vibe from the song, and great dynamics too. Again, a mark of good production and arrangement.
Thank you so much. This was the first song that we recorded for the record.
Wow,
So we had basically had a whole conversation about I had sent the song and Steve and I were like, what does Sydney Irving sound like? What's the vibe gonna be? And this song, basically, we went in and I was like, I sent like artists that I like what I want it to sound like, what kind of artist I want to be. And so we built this song up and every other song basically like revolved around this song to keep the whole thing cohesive in a way.
that's
So
great.
really this is the glue of all the songs, I think.
Yep, Stakes in the Ground has set the tone for the rest of the album. I'm gonna barrel through some of the other songs because I don't wanna skip over any of them, but Move On, great groove, rhythmic vocal. I really love your approach on the vocals throughout the verses, and a great hypnotic riff on the keys, really cool. Anthemic background vocals. This one connected with me, and then there's Wish That I Knew, another anthemic track. Again, killer dynamics here, and, really appreciate how you approach your vocals. It's track by track. You're not just phoning it in where it's just kind of like, one style or approach. It's like being a narrator for each story, and killer hooks. And of course, feels this one to me, wish that I knew feels like it would, you'd crush it live.
Thank you. This one's one of my favorites in the set because I really love there's this bit in the bridge where I'm basically just yelling
Yeah.
and any sort of frustration or anything that I've bottled up, I just like totally let go in that one moment. And it's for me a really special moment in the show.
And cheap therapy.
Yeah,
Y-
cheap therapy, it's a good time. Everybody
Yeah.
can yell along with me if they want to.
Nobody gets hurt. Yeah.
Exactly.
Seasons Change, instant rock and classic. Love this track as well. Great hooks vocally and instrumentally. Again, it's another one that feels timeless, and, great songs do that. It's another one I suspect is a great live track as well.
Thank you so much. Seasons Change is a really fun one. That was one of the co-writes with Steve that he dreamt the chorus of it.
Yep.
And basically we set out to create this like summer anthem-y kind of song, but then it turned into a relationship that follows the seasons. So it starts out and it's summer and it's great, and then as it gets colder outside and it turns fall and the leaves fall off the trees,
Yeah.
it falls apart. But there's no hard feelings.
Love it. Yeah. Find Me. This is a nice tempo transition, wonderfully airy and a mellow feel, and great chord progression as well. And again, yet another track that I feel musically will center one during, somewhat turbulent times that we're facing. So this one, as far as being therapeutic, I highly recommend it. Dr. Harkins says this is the prescription for you. Make Me Stay, wonderful track, fantastic vocal. Another one that connected with me. Tell me about the origin of Make Me Stay.
Make Me Stay, I wrote about a relationship that's not very healthy, but for some reason you stay in it.
Yeah.
And so this song, like the chord progression's kind of weird. So I sent it to Steve and we decided we were like, how can we make this kind of nasty sounding chord progression feel pretty? And it feels like almost like a alt country kind of a track, but it
Yeah.
leans Americana. So I'm really pumped about how it came out. It's different than anything else on the record, I think.
Yeah, it's a standout in that regard for sure, which again, I think is a testament and why it's such a great album. I Don't Wanna Fight You, haunting track musically and vocally. To me, instrumentally and the arrangement has a bit of a YouTube vibe and vocal weaves throughout, really atmospheric, a track that I think many will embrace in a relationship, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. I love the 4 on the floor drum thing that we did in that song. We didn't do that for any of the others. So
Yeah,
it's a
same.
very driving tune. But it's a song that I really love. It's definitely like more of a deeper track on the album. But I like how it came out, and I hope people like it when they listen to it.
I think they will, and then there's, All I Need Is You. Can you tell us a little bit, about what was behind that one?
All I Need Is You is a song about missing somebody. I wrote it when everything was shut down and
Yeah.
I wanted to add it to the record. This was back in 2020. So studios weren't open, couldn't go anywhere. That's basically what the song's about. And the way that we recorded it, because I couldn't go to the studio, was Steve recorded the instrumentals at his house, because he had a little studio set up there, and he ran a microphone out his window around his house to his porch and set up a microphone for me, and I came over one day and recorded the vocals on his porch. So, like, every time a car would drive by, we'd have to stop and then, like,
I
pick
love
up where
that.
we left off, and there's,
Talk
like,
about
birds
resourceful.
chirping in the back. Yeah,
That
we were
that's
using our resources for sure.
Sloan wants to know if you have any advice for young artists just starting out in the industry, and please don't say, "Don't do it." I
I would
added that,
say
Sloan didn't.
I would say the biggest thing that helped me was don't have a plan B, because then it distracts from plan A. There's this
Yeah,
artist I really love, his name's Barnes Courtney, and I met him back when I was really deciding that I wanted to do music. I was probably like 15 years old, and I was like, this is what I want to do, but I mean, it's not like a conventional career path by any means. And I asked for his advice, and he said, don't have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. And that's really stuck with me.
yeah, that's great advice for sure. Really, that applies to so many things. If you're passionate about what you wanna pursue, having a plan B almost gives you an out clause so that, right, you're not fully focused. So, I think that's wonderful advice for sure. Tell me, I mean, for you personally, you have to be 100% invested. This is a very unnatural, and challenging lifestyle and occupation in that it requires you 150%. It makes it difficult to some degree to, to have a normal lifestyle. Relationships can be challenged, not because of you, the person, but because of what you do for a living and how it's all consuming.
100%. I feel like with music, you're running your own business, so you are on call 24/7.
Yeah.
And there's always something that you can be doing, whether it's social media, writing a song, like booking shows, like meetings, like talking to your manager, talking to Deco. Like you could get a phone call at any moment, and also being out at shows, you're working Friday, Saturday, usually Sunday, so it's kinda like, restaurant,
Yeah.
hours where it's like you're busy on the weekends, but, midweek, it's like phone calls and emails.
Right.
So, it's kind of it's a funny schedule. There's not really like a set schedule, which I've always found a little bit hard to have a routine, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's good. That's why you're a success and you'll continue to be one for sure.
Thank you.
Ron is saying, Sydney, you're welcome. And it's true. Sydney, one of those super, super great young talented artists. Season Change is a must hit song and video. That's from Ron Ray. I second that emotion, Ron. And thank you for sharing that. And tonight, again, we're celebrating the current release from an amazingly talented Sydney Irving entitled Unfashioned Creatures, 12 killer tracks. And Sydney Irving is a hope of the future when it comes to music, and I would say even beyond too. The music just centers you, and she's delivered such a great album. Rock and Roll Channel fans on Talk Shop Live can purchase her copies right here and right now, and as her way of thanking you, fine fans. A very limited number of copies have been autographed personally by her for you fans. Trust me, this will be an heirloom. You will cherish this album musically for years to come, but also signed by this great talent. To order your copies, hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, comment shop, and we'll DM you a link. Just click it. The rest is quick and easy. And again, there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate great music and the highly talented Sydney Irving than by owning a copy of her latest musical body of work. So we kind of touched on this, but Sydney 2026 sounds like it's going to hold for you a lot of touring, but it also sounds like perhaps some more recording.
Perhaps. I was just in the studio the other day, so we're working on some new stuff, and we're really trying to define the next record, because I feel like it's like this was the first album, now we have to top it. So we're trying to push the boundaries a little bit, but not stray too far where you're kind of like, well, I like the first album, like
Yeah,
what is this? So
right.
we've been having a lot of conversations about that.
Yeah, and that's a challenge too. At the end of the day, you really want it to be an evolution, but not necessarily cultural shock either, right?
Absolutely. So I think we're we're diving a little more into rock, which I'm excited about. I don't want to
Love
like
it.
talk too much about it, but more information coming soon.
Good. Well, we'll have to have you back when you can talk about it. You piqued my interest, for sure. Before we let you go, we'd like to thank all the fans for being here. A lot of love out there this evening, and for their support of Sydney. And also special thanks to Charlie Calvin and everybody at Deco Entertainment. Of course, we mentioned before Bruce Pilato from Pilato Entertainment Marketing and Media. Also Max Sobel at Mile High Productions, to Brian, Sandy, Tina, Joe, Jenny, Lavani, Marty, Kate, Sam, Brendan, and behind the scenes doing a wonderful job as always. My partner in crime, Brad Edwards. Thank you, Brad, all from Talk Shop Live. But most importantly, thanks to Sydney Irving for providing us with your musical gifts. And let me just ask you before we part company, Sydney, is there any last words you'd like to share with the fans out there before we part company?
Yeah, well, thank you again for having me. It's been a blast hanging out and talking with you. You can find more information about me and where I'll be coming up, live shows and new music and Unfashioned Creatures at my social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, at Sydney Irving Music, or my website, sydneyirvingmusic.com. We have some great merchandise there, and hopefully I'll see you guys at a show sometime soon.
That sounds great. Pick up the latest album from Sydney, entitled Unfashioned Creatures, the Rock and Roll Challenge Talk Shop Live. Go visit that site and support her. She's a gift that keeps on giving. And again, that album is personally autographed by Sydney while supplies last. While you're at it, pick up copies for your friends and family. It's a unique gift that will last a lifetime. Music and art is a gift that truly keeps on giving, and give that wonderful gift of Sydney Irving. Your friends and family will thank you for it. You've worked hard. You deserve it. And having it on good authority, it will enhance everyone's quality of life. Sydney, thank you so much for being here this evening. Congratulations, and thank you as well for delivering such a great album of music that we'll cherish for some time to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
You're very welcome, and I hope we can do it again soon.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Outstanding. And with that, everyone, stay safe, enjoy life, stay dry, stay warm. Sydney, you as well. Hope you don't have to dig into that shovel too much. Rock on, and so long, everybody.
If I turned right on this road, I'd drive by your house. And it doesn't matter much, but that's what my mind does. And yeah, I wonder sometimes how you think of me. Are the memories good and wholesome? Do they bleed? Well, go pretend you don't remember me. We promised friends, one thing will never be. Stay home, sincere apologies. But however hard you try, you can't forget about me. God, we never said things we'd ever mean. Making hay by talking in poetry. All forever you had waited for me, and I died living up to what you thought I'd be. Well, go pretend you don't remember me. We promised friends, one thing will never be. Stay home, sincere apologies. But however hard you try, you can't forget about me.